What's up, YouTube? It's JT Sports back to you guys with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Philadelphia Eagles impact players for the 2019 NFL season. So, the first player that I'm going to start off the video with is quarterback Carson Wentz. Now, Carson Wentz, he got injured and he didn't even play in the playoff game. Nick Foles led them into the playoffs. They got them a win in the wild card round. Then they ultimately end up losing to the Saints. So Carson Wentz last season had 3,074 passing yards, 21 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and he completed 69.6% of his passes. Now, Carson Wentz, um, he is a elite quarterback in my opinion. If he's just able to stay healthy, man, because his numbers were very, very good, and he was actually on pace to best the numbers that he had before he got injured his MVP season, which sounds crazy, but it really is the truth. I actually saw a video about this a few weeks ago. And Carson Wentz, man, if he's able to stay healthy, I think he's going to have a very good season. I think he's going to have a Pro Bowl caliber season. And the Eagles will without a doubt be in the playoffs this year if he's able to stay healthy. And he really has no choice to stay healthy because if he gets injured, God forbid, the Eagles, they don't have a Nick Foles who they can rely on. So basically, if Carson Wentz gets injured, the Philadelphia Eagles playoff hopes and Super Bowl hopes are going down the drain. Next up, we have halfback Jordan Howard, who the Philadelphia Eagles traded for with the Chicago Bears. Jordan Howard had 935 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns, and 3.7 yards per carry. Still a little bit of a head scratcher to the reason why the Chicago Bears decided to trade him to the Philadelphia Eagles or why they decided to trade him at all. I don't really know, but Jordan Howard is a very good running back. I believe he missed like 2 games this year or something like that. But if he never would have missed those games, he probably would have had over 1,000 yards. Very good running back in the NFL, and he's going to be a very good addition to the Philadelphia Eagles. I actually believe that he's going to be the best halfback that the Philadelphia Eagles have had since LaShawn McCoy, and that's been a long time since it's been a few years since they actually had a very good running back. And plus you're going to pair him up with the halfback who they selected in the NFL draft out of Penn State. So that's going to be a pretty good halfback duo that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to have. And I think Jordan Howard has over 1,000 yards this year behind that. What is a pretty solid offensive line that the Philadelphia Eagles has. And I think he has a pretty good season for the Philadelphia Eagles. Next up, we have wide receiver Alshon Jeffery, who had 843 receiving yards, 65 receptions, and 6 touchdowns. As we all know, he had that drop in the divisional round game against New Orleans Saints that broke the hearts of Philadelphia Eagles fans. And it broke my heart because I wasn't even a Philadelphia Eagles fan. And it just broke my heart because his reaction when he dropped it, I just felt so bad for the guy. But Alshon Jeffery, he is a very solid wide receiver in the NFL. I think this year he hits over 1,000 yards. He has good size. He's a very reliable threat in the red zone. And I think he's going to have a very good season for the Philadelphia Eagles with a fully healthy Carson Wentz coming back. And to be honest, what people don't give Carson Wentz the credit for is that this is a better offense when he's in the fold because when the Philadelphia Eagles are playing with Nick Foles, they have to readjust the offense to, like this gimmicky spread offense, Chip Kelly like offense and whatnot. But with Carson Wentz, you can just run your normal basic system and stuff like that. So, in my opinion, I believe this Philadelphia offense is better when he is playing. And I think Alshon Jeffery is going to benefit from that. And I think he's going to have a pretty solid season. Don't be surprised if you see Alshon Jeffery make it to the Pro Bowl this season. Next up, we have tight end Zach Ertz, who went to the Pro Bowl last season, had 1,163 receiving yards, 116 receptions, and 8 touchdowns. Had a very phenomenal season. His season was a little bit overshadowed by how good Travis Kelce is, but Zach Ertz is probably the second best tight end in all of football. Maybe I would say he's the second best tight end in all of football. Maybe some people can defer to disagree, but I think he is the second best tight end in all of football behind Travis Kelce, excuse me. And I think he's going to have another good season. I don't think he matches the season that he had last year, but I still think the production is going to be there. He'll probably have 900 receiving yards, probably have about 80 receptions and about the same amount of touchdowns, and he'll make it to the Pro Bowl. Think he's going to be a very key part of that Philadelphia Eagles offense. And the next guy that we have on this list is wide receiver DeSean Jackson. Now, DeSean Jackson, the Philadelphia Eagles traded for him in the trade for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. DeSean Jackson, he wanted out of Tampa Bay. That been reported since before the trade deadline of last season. He finally got his wish. Finally back home from Philadelphia. Last season, he had 774 receiving yards, 41 receptions, 4 touchdowns. And it's good to see him back home because he never wanted to leave the Philadelphia Eagles anyway. But as we all know, the journey started when Chip Kelly decided to trade away the whole entire Philadelphia Eagles team. That's how he got shipped out. And DeSean Jackson, man, he's not a guy who's going to go out and get you like 90 receptions, 80 receptions, 70 receptions like that. I believe his career high in receptions is like 62, I believe, and that was with the Washington Redskins, I believe. But DeSean Jackson is still a very good deep threat, besides being up there in age. Not as fast as what he used to be, but he's still one of the best deep threats in all the NFL. And the Philadelphia Eagles, they've been looking for a solid deep threat for a while now. And they now have that in DeSean Jackson. So I think he's going to have a pretty solid season for the Philadelphia Eagles. The third wide receiver that we have on this list is wide receiver J.J. Whiteside, who the Philadelphia Eagles drafted in the second round of this year's NFL draft. And I really like J.J. Whiteside a lot because he's a very good red zone target, very big, very strong. Reminds me of a similar version of Alshon Jeffery. He's not a wide receiver that's going to get a lot of yards after catching and make defenders miss and stuff like that, but he has very solid hands, and he's going to be a very good threat and the red zone for Carson Wentz and this Philadelphia Eagles offense going into the 2019 NFL season. On to the defensive side of the ball, we have defensive tackle Fletcher Cox, who was an All-Pro last season and also went to the Pro Bowl, had 46 tackles, 10.5 sacks, one of the better defensive tackles in all of the NFL, and I expect him to keep up the. And Fletcher Cox is a very key player up front for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's basically that heart and soul of that Philadelphia Eagles front seven, and I'm expecting him to have a very good season and keep up the production. Next up, I have safety Malcolm Jenkins. Now, Malcolm Jenkins is one of the best safeties in the NFL. Last season, he had a Pro Bowl appearance, had 97 tackles, 1 interception, and 8 pass deflections. And I said Fletcher Cox was the heart and soul of the Philadelphia Eagles when it comes to up front, but I believe Malcolm Jenkins is the heart and soul of that Philadelphia defense as a whole, man. I think he's what keeps that defense together, with what keeps that defense playing at a very good level, high level, productive level. And I think he's a top 5 safety in the NFL. Some people might disagree with me, but I think he's that good. He's one of my favorite players in the NFL, and I think he's going to have another impactful season for this Philadelphia defense in the 2019. Next up, we have cornerback Ronald Darby. Now, Ronald Darby, he missed 5 games, but when he played, he was very, very phenomenal. He had 43 tackles, 1 interception, 12 pass deflections. And this whole Philadelphia Eagles cornerback position just went downhill. I mean, they had injuries after injuries after injuries after mother freaking injuries, man. It's like Jalen Mills goes down, Ronald Darby missed some games. But Tommy Maddox was a guy who stepped up and he was able to provide some very good quality play, which from what was a very weak position, man, they got carved up by the New Orleans Saints. It's a miracle that they found the way to get to the doggone playoffs, man, because the secondary for the Philadelphia Eagles wasn't healthy. To me, it's one of the best in the NFL. Well, now I think it's a top 15, near top 10 secondary. Jalen Mills, he struggled. He was inconsistent a lot. Tommy Maddox was a guy, who basically was forced to step in. I believe he was very, very inexperienced, not starting in a lot of games, but he proved to get better down the stretch. And then Ronald Darby, man, he was probably the best cornerback on that Philadelphia Eagles team last season. So overall, I'm expecting a lot out of Ronald Darby this year. I'm expecting him to make it to a Pro Bowl, and I think he's going to become one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL because this Philadelphia Eagles cornerback position is it's amazing that they were able to play at least good enough to make it to the playoffs, bro, because they had some games when they were just getting car freaking up, man. So let me know what you guys think about this list down in the comment section down below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And thanks for watching.